want to come and talk to you guys about two different personal stories that have occurred throughout my life, my 21 years of life. The first took place around 2006 if my memory serves me correct, and when I went to Job Corps. And just as a sidebar note, if anybody out there who's watching this is a teenager and or a parent with teenagers who are in high school who are struggling in the traditional setting of high school, I would definitely encourage you to look into the option of Job Corps, because it is definitely, in my opinion, an option worth looking into. For me, I went and I got my high school diploma along with my culinary trade, but it's not just culinary. They have bricklaying, they have paint, they have phlebotomy, they have cosmetology. They didn't have cosmetology at the center that I went to, but from my understanding they do have it in Miami. On that particular center, from what how it was explained to me. That being said, that's neither here nor there. But with that being said, I went to Job Corps, and there is where I met my best friend, and we are still very close, and I love him dearly. He's simply amazing. He's an amazing man. And we got an apartment together, but we were both naive at the time, and we kind of rushed into the situation, and there's a lot of extra details about that, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Make a long story short, once I moved in, after I completed the program and moved in, I didn't have a job right off the bat. So financially, we were a little crunched, and it kind of stressed our friendship a little bit, if you will. It kind of put strains on our friendship. And I wanted to talk about it because that's the kind of person that I am. Let's talk about this. Let's work it out. I want to know where you're coming from, and let's work through this. But at the time, he was not ready to have that dialogue with me, which I understand. But it got to a point to where I felt like, you know what, I cannot live in a household where I feel like I can't be myself and or I'm walking on eggshells because I don't want to upset someone, so forth and so on, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. So one day I went out downtown Louisville and I got, I purchased I got a wig. I got a wig, a cheap wig at that. I got some cheap pumps, whatever the case might be, because when I was in Job Corps, some of my fish sisters, you know, they said, girl, you know, you need to do drag because you would be fierce and da-da-da-da. Okay, fine. That's really where the whole character Phoenix Majesty developed, was in Kentucky when I was in Job Corps. That being said, I figured what I would do was I'd go down to the little gay club. What was it called? It was called Connections. I can't even remember the name of the club, but it was a gay club in Kentucky. I'm sure if you live there, you know what I'm talking about. And I remember I got there, and I was 18, so I think I was even too young to even get in, if my memory serves me correct. But I was 18, I got up there, and me being as naive as I was like, well, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk up there, and they're just going to love me, and they're just going to accept me, and I'm going to make coins, and then everything is going to be right where it was wrong. That was wrong. I got up there, and they were like, well, number one, you're a little too young. Number two, you have to audition. You can't just start working. And then they just went down the list, and that was the night where I was like, you know what, I can't do this. I don't want to go back to the apartment. I don't even really want to be here in Kentucky. I'm just over this whole situation. So I called up my mother and I said, Mom, you know what? I'm sleeping on the street tonight. And I meant that. You know, I meant it. You know, looking back at it now, it's kind of like crazy that I felt that way. But I did. And this is a part of my story that makes me who I am today. But she says to me, she says, well, what's going on? I told her the situation. She says, okay, fine. I'm going to purchase you a ticket tomorrow to send you back home. Tonight, what I need for you to do for me, I need you to call the cops, call the police, have them escort you to a homeless shelter. So I called the cops. Well, when the cops got there, you know, they thought I was a woman, and they assumed that I wanted to go to the women's shelter, which I guess obviously said I was a woman. That's what you would think. Okay, fine. I then have to tell them, no, I'm a guy. I need to go to the guy shelter. And so that was strike number one of the shame fest, girl. It was just so much embarrassment. It was just a hot fucking mess. So that was number one. And then number two, when I got to the shelter, the homeless shelter, I had to sign my name in a sign-in sheet. And that only solidified the situation that I'm actually here. I'm actually here. And then they said, well, the soup kitchen is still open. If you're hungry, you can go pick yourself up a hot meal in the soup kitchen before we close shop, whatever the case might be. So I headed on down to the soup kitchen, but when I got there, they had like some boiled chicken, some peas, and some cornbread, which may sound good as I'm saying it, but it didn't look good. I mean, first of all, the chicken was in a bunch of water that had been, it just looked like slop. Something that you would give to a pig. You know, something that you just slop, like grub or something. It just didn't look good. So I fixed my plate, but then I was like, you know, I can't eat this. I just cannot eat this. So there was a gentleman, he said, well, if you don't want your food, I'll eat it. I said, thank you so much, because I would hate to waste, especially in a homeless shelter of our places. So he took my meal, and then I thought that I would get a bed, but apparently I was wrong once more. There is a waiting list for the bed. So I ended up having to sleep in a plastic hard chair next to a schizophrenic and somebody with open wounds on his arm. And that was not exclusive to those two. There were many other people in there with conditions going on, with, you know, their feet were just completely bloodied. I mean, it was just a mess. And I remember thinking, I can't believe this is me. I can't believe I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So that really did change my life. And I'm going to pause that story for a moment, and then I'm going to move to the next one, and then we're going to bring them all together at the end. The second story that, you know, the situation that happened to me that has definitely changed my life is what happened to me actually over this weekend, I believe, Saturday, if I remember something correct. It could be Friday, but I believe it was Saturday. I decided that I wanted to go out and get me some groceries. I needed some food, and, you know, I was hungry, and I needed to just get out the house, period. And I went to the grocery store that I always go to, and only that this time I decided that I was going to get Tamaya's food and put it on my scooter. I've never done that before. Anytime I've gotten Tamaya's food, I've had somebody with the vehicle come with me so that I can, you know, because when you go grocery shopping on a scooter, you have to keep in mind that it's a scooter, and, you know, you have your trunk, your compartment for your trunk. You have the little compartment that's right there in front of the steering wheel, and then you have your book bag. For some people, they have that crate in the back. I don't have that crate in the back just yet. I do plan on getting one so that I can maximize what my purchase is. But you know, but I've never done that before, and on this time I decided to get the jumbo size bag so that her food doesn't run out as quick. And that wasn't necessarily the smartest thing for me to do. What ended up happening was I put the food on the bottom where my feet would normally be, and because of that, it caused my feet, my legs, and my feet to go on this weird incline. So basically, I was scrunched on my scooter, and my knees practically were touching my chest. I mean, it was just so awkward and so foolish of me to even attempt doing that. And then, with me rushing, I put my book bag on the back of my scooter and forgot it was on the back and just drove off. And I heard someone scream, but I didn't know why they were screaming. I just continued to drive. Well, as I'm halfway home, and then it dawns on me, because, you know, I frequently check my back to make sure everything is still there, no zippers have opened up. But when I hit my back, I said, oh shit, my book bag, I'm not wearing it. So then immediately, it was a knee-jerk reaction. I pumped the brakes. Well, when I pumped the brakes, I careened into the sidewalk, the scooter flipped over, and I flew off the bike. Now, that being said, I had on no jacket. I had on one glove on my right hand. On my left hand, there was no glove. And the most that I got was a little bit of swelling in my wrist and this. Now, let me just describe the scene. I immediately got up after I flew off my bike. I get up, my groceries have burst out of my trunk, my bike is badly scraped up, the dog food is scraped up, and it just seemed a lot worse than what it was based off of the physical damage that was inflicted on my scooter, on my groceries, and on the dog food. When that happened, I threw the dog food in the ditch. I turned around and I headed back to the grocery store. Right after the accident happened, about maybe 30 seconds later. And when I got there, the woman was like, oh, you. She was like, I tried to get your attention. I turned your book back in to the lost and found, or whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what you would call it at a grocery store, but she turned it in. And when I got there, like she said, she had turned it in. Everything was still there. All my groceries, my wallet, everything. Okay, fine. Let me pause that story and move on to a small piece of something else. In the past, I have left my cell phone on a public transportation MARTA bus. I've had it returned back to me. I left my wallet in the cafeteria at my school. Somebody turned it into lost and found. Mind you, I had all my debit in there, my credit card, even although my debit and credit are the same. So, and I don't do credit like that, girl. No shade. But my debit was in there, my cash was in there, my ID was in there, everything was in there. And nothing was touched. They simply found it and turned it in. My book bag, same thing. Now, why did I want to tell you guys these two stories? The first story that I told you, I wanted to tell you because for me, what that opened my eyes up to is the fact that I'm not above it. I'm in it. I'm no better than anybody walking the streets, girl. We all have something to offer. We all have something to offer. What that is, who knows? But we all have something to offer. And you never know when you'll be the person who needs some assistance. You never want to judge a person just because, you know, at the time it seemed like their circumstances is a little bit some type of way, girl. Because once again, you never know when that person might be you. And when you're going to need somebody to be kind and gentle and compassionate with you in your situation. You see what I'm saying? For me, that was so humbling because you see homeless people on the street and it's almost like going to a zoo. You know what I'm saying? You go to the zoo and you ooh and ah at the situation, the gorilla, the panda, whatever the case might be. But this is not a panda. This is not a grizzly bear. This is not a flamingo. This is a human who, for whatever reason, is down on their luck and is on the street and could use some understanding and some compassion. But oftentimes, when we see these people, we judge them and girl, ooh, they must be strung the fuck out, girl. What the fuck did they do wrong? When really, maybe they didn't do nothing wrong, girl. Maybe for whatever the reason with this economy, girl, they got laid off. What if they lost their job, girl, couldn't keep up those payments and end up becoming homeless? I mean, it's so endless what the reason for someone to be on the street. That night, when I had to go to the homeless shelter, people thought I was a prostitute. People thought I was probably a crackhead. I mean, it was so many things I could just say that people probably thought I was, none of which that I was not. Nobody knew my situation. Nobody knew that I had an apartment. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, if I'm in a homeless shelter, I must not have a home. No, girl, I had a home, but at that time, I was not willing to go back to it. You see what I'm saying? So you just always got to be humble, and you always want to try to keep an open mind and try to be understanding to other people in their situation, because you just never know. You just never know. And the worst thing is to sit up there casting a stone, okay? When you know good and well you living in a glass house. You can't do that. You just can't do it unless you are somebody's Mother Teresa. I'm going to need for you to zip it and open it and try to understand and hear where people are coming from. With that second incident, in reference to me flying off my scooter, I just want to say to you all, people, please live your life. Live your life. Follow your heart, girl. Make like Happy Feet, girl. You have to dance to the beat of your own drum. I'm tired of everybody else thinking they know how you should live your life more than you do. Maybe in some instances they mean well. Maybe in some instances they give you advice that you actually can use that is actually relevant to what's going on. But there's a lot of times where people are talking and don't know what the hell they talk about. Leading your life through it if they would lead their own. But what they need to do, opposed to trying to lead your life, is to lead their own. Opposed to you trying to tell me what I should be doing, girl, you need to be doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because if you really pay attention, what you'll find is the people who call themselves telling you what you need to do ain't doing it the damn self. You telling me how I should be raising my kids, meanwhile your kids are all living off welfare checks. You telling me that I shouldn't be dating this man, meanwhile the man you dating is beating your ass. I'm not saying that to judge the people who are going through those situations, but what I'm saying is you can't tell nobody nothing until you get your situation situated. You see what I'm saying? And so, for me, I just feel like, you know, when I flew off that scooter, with the way that I flew off, and me standing here, you would think nothing happened. If I never mentioned it, you would never know nothing happened. But I know what happened. And it's just amazing to me that all I got was this. And a little bit swelling in my wrist. Are you kidding me? I don't know what is up there, whether it's Allah, Buddha, Jehovah, Jesus, nothing, the universe, Mother Nature. I don't know what it is, girl. But something was watching over my ass. It sure was. Something was watching over me. And I can't say what it was and why it was watching over me, why it chose me. For me doing something so fucking stupid as riding on my scooter with my legs the way that they were positioned and just being reckless. to make a long story short. But for whatever the reason, I came out of that accident with minor injury. And I'm grateful, because for me, that's solidifying the fact that maybe it's something bigger than myself that I need to do on this earth. It maybe not, but maybe. Maybe it's something bigger than myself that I need to do. Maybe I have some more work that I need to do on this planet. So, and then on that last piece of information as it pertains to my book bag and my wallet and my cell phone that all got returned back to me. When I got out that homeless shelter, I said that I'm going to try my best. I'm still human and I'm still flawed. And there do come times where I look at certain people, I'm like, girl, please, and I do make judgments. I'm human. I'm working on that. Every day I try to take a step in the right direction to not do that. You understand what I'm saying? That being said, if I have money in my wallet, and I see somebody who is struggling, who looks like they can use a hot meal, I will contribute to their movement of getting that hot meal, girl. I will contribute. Some people will say, do not donate no cash to no homeless person. Do not do this, do not do that. And I understand where you're coming from, but my own perspective is this. My intention is for them to get a hot meal. If they want to go off and do something else that was not what the money was intended for, that is on them. But my heart is going to be free of that, of feeling any type of guilt towards the situation, because I know what my intention was. I believe that the reason why, my book bag was turned back, my cell phone was turned back, my wallet was turned back, and why overall people have been so generous to me, is because I do believe that I'm a decent person. And that I genuinely do care about people. And I just care, not even just people, but I just care in general. You understand what I'm saying? I care about animals. I care about the environment. I care about people and their situations, and how can I help a person to make them laugh, to make them smile, to make a person's life better. Because at the end of the day, it's so much bigger than all of us. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than you. We walk in this planet, but we ain't walking it a damn lone. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to be thinking about living your life. But how can the actions that you do positively affect the person behind you? Okay, girl, well, you want to smoke your cigarette? That's fine. If that's what you want to do, it's your life, girl. I'm not going to tell you not to do it, girl. It's your lungs. But have some consideration. If you're sitting at a bus stop, you know the wind is blowing in this direction. The bus ain't coming. You know it ain't coming for another 15 minutes, girl. You can clearly walk around this curb a little bit to smoke your damn cigarette. Because if you want to sit there and pollute your lungs, girl, that's fine. I'm not going to do no campaign against you not smoking, girl. You do you. You smoke them cigarettes, girl. You got it on half price. That's fine, girl. Ooh, congratulations. But have some consideration for those around you. I'm not going to tell you not to smoke. But when you do smoke, just have some consideration. That's all. That is all. People, in closing, be humble. Remain down to earth. Be grateful. Be appreciative. Because it's true what they say, girl. If you're watching this post, you are truly blessed. And the fact that you are able to have electricity in your home, that you are able to have transportation to the library, that you don't have no funds in your library card so that you can log online, you are blessed. That you are alive, girl. That you are alive. On that note, I'm going to let you guys go. I know you guys probably thought I was going to come on here talking about this one, that one. No, not today. Today I really did want to share with you some personal situations, because I know every so often I'll talk about something that's personal, like real personal, like with the Walmart when that situation happened. Or even like the situation with the guy, I was at the bus stop and he thought that I had one to him when clearly nobody think about his ass. And even the McDonald's thing, I know a lot of times when I'm talking about these things, I'm so animated that it can come off as, some type of way. But those stories are real. These events really happen. And all of that, many things that I haven't even told you guys about, different things that have happened to me in my life, that all have added to the pot, the jambalaya, the ingredients of who it is that I am today. But guess what? It's not finished. We have to let this thing simmer, because I'm still growing and evolving and learning about myself every day. I'm still working to overcome different insecurities that I may have. I'm still working to be a better person. I'm still working to find out what I can do creatively to bring a higher quality product to the people who enjoy what it is that I do. I'm not perfect, never said I was, but I do acknowledge the fact that I'm working towards being a better person. And I only wanted to do this post to simply say, people, realize that you're here today. Who knows what happens after death, girl, but here right now today, you are here. You are here. You can take control. You can make it go left or right, girl. It's all up to you. On that note, I'm going to let you guys go. I've rambled on long enough. So on that note, bye.